Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video, and yet again another singles ranking video. A while back, it must have been a few months now, I ranked the Jam singles, and the next step would actually be to rank the Style Council singles. Now I never actually got round to it. I did actually rank them on paper, but I never got round to making the video. So this one's for Rob Walker, who made a comment earlier on in the week or last week about ranking these singles. Now the Style Council, oh boy, how can I go about them? If you were a Jam fan, the Style Council were a bit of a shock to the system. They started off great with fantastic singles in 1983, and then they released Cafe Bleu, which was a real shock. I think there was three views of the Style Council. If you were a Jam fan, you either thought they were crap, or you thought they were brilliant, or in my case I thought their singles were good but their albums were rubbish, and I lied and I said their albums were great even though I didn't really like them. But now whenever I hear, say for example, Cafe Bleu, I think it's actually a very strong album. One thing about the Style Council is they're a very political band. The Jam brought politics into their music as well, but the Style Council was really in-your-face politics. I'm not a big fan of politics in music because I think it tends to split the fans, you know, because you're not always going to agree with what they're saying. So it does tend to split the fans. So it's really, I'm not saying what my politics are, it's either way, if you're left or right or whatever. You know, if you force it down somebody's throat, they tend to react. So there's 18 singles here. I'm not going to include, they released some EPs I think around 1988. I only have one, and that there's Mick Talbot is Agent 88, and I don't think it's very good anyway. And the Long Hot Summer remix from 89, the actual Long Hot Summer song will be included obviously, but I am going to include the Council Collective single, which was released around 1980, end of 84 I think, to help the miners, really the miners' strike from, I think it was 84 or 85, I can't remember. So anyway, 18 to 1, and the worst is the Council Collective. Soul Deep, you call this. Yes, it is a political statement. Aside from that, it's not a very good song. In fact, it's a very poor song. And I was listening to this to remind myself about this. I never liked this. I was listening to this the other day, and there's actually, they tried to take shades of Blue Monday and put it into this, but overall it's just a poor song. I bought this actually about a year and a half ago just to fill the collection. I never actually liked it. I never bought it when it came out. It really is the Style Council with a few extra guests, you know, all part of the Red Wage movement. I think Billy Bragg was a big saying that as well, but I just don't like it. So that's number 18. Number 17, and this is from, if I get all these dates right because I never looked them up. This is from 1986, and this is the second single from The Cost of Loving. It's called Waiting. It wasn't much of a hit. I think it might have got to number 60 something or 70 something. Might have done better, I'm not sure, but this is probably the second best single of an absolute, second best song of an absolute dreadful album, The Cost of Living. I know you like it, Rob, but I just cannot get into it at all, and I don't even really like this either. I think it's very boring. So that's my number 17, and that's Waiting. Number 16 is from Our Favourite Shop, their number 1 album, and it's the third single, The Lodgers, and this has got DC Lee all over it. It is on the more soul side. I just don't think it's very good. There was a song off the album called A Man of Great Promise, which I think would have been a much better single, or the song Luck. I just don't think this is great. So This is around the time I was really struggling to keep up with the Style Council, because I was so really going to just pack it in and say, look, I've tried my best, I'm giving up. But this is number 16. Number 15, I did actually quite like this at the time. It's a bit draggy. It's called It Didn't Matter. It's the first single off that awful Cost of Loving LP. This actually sounds as if they've taken the Jam song Precious and the 45 and they've played it at 33 speed. It's just, it really is a bit draggy. There's something about it I do quite like though, but it is a bit of a drag song, and that gets my number 15. Number 14, and this is from the Absolute Beginner soundtrack, and Have You Ever Had It Blue? It's okay. It's a rework of a song called With Everything to Lose from the Our Favourite Shop. Yeah, it's not bad. Decent enough song. Again, the Style Council were very soulful, and they had that soulful feel. So yeah, I do quite enjoy this. I didn't really like it at the time, but I like it much better now. And that's number 14. Number 13, and it's from their last album, Confessions of a Pop Group, and this is Life at a Top People's Health Farm. Yeah, this is actually quite different. It's actually quite good. I don't really know how to describe it. It's completely different to anything they've done before. It's got a very echoey sound to it, but it's a good song, and it gets my number 13. Number 12, this was really the start of the decline for them. This has come to Milton Keynes. This is the second single from Our Favourite Shop. I think it's got a great wee video. It's a great little catchy tune. Again, it's a political song about these new towns that were being built up and that they were almost sterile. But yeah, good song, enjoy it, and that's my number 12. Number 11, and this is from Cafe Bleu. This is the grooving. I don't know why to call it grooving, because I thought it was an EP, but it's only a 2-track single, and this is You're the Best Thing. This is probably one of their biggest hits at that time. I do like it. It's a good love song. I think it's strained a little bit in the chorus, but you know, it's well played, and it's one of the highlights from the album as well. But it's never quite been up there with me, and that's my number 11. Number 10, and it's a bit of a surprise if you know my music taste, because this is almost like house music, and I'm not a house music fan. It's a cover version, but I think this is really, really good, and this is Promised Land. This is probably their last single they ever released. It wasn't going to be featured on the album Modernism, A New Decade or something like that, which they had handed into Polydor, but Polydor rejected it. But this, I think, was from around the same sessions. I just think this is really, really good, and this is a really fantastic song to sing along to, and that gets my number 10. Number 9, and their biggest hit in the UK, and this is an EP. This is the A Paris EP, and the opening track is Long Hot Summer, and this is Does Take You Back, one of the few songs that takes me back to 1983. You know, it just, you almost feel you're back in 1983 whenever you hear this. It's a great song. It's a corny video. I think he got slagged off a little bit about the video, but a number 3 hit single. It's great, and that's my number 9. Number 8 is another EP, and this is How She Threw It All Away, which was from their last album. This is a fantastic song, but by this time the Style Council, they just weren't popular anymore, and it's a shame, because their last album, Confessions of a Pop Group, is actually quite good. It's very adventurous, like 2 sides. One side is very piano based tunes, and the second side is pop tunes. This is a really, really good song and deserved to fare much better. Number 7, I bought this when it came out. I bought the 12-inch when it came out. I pretended I liked it. I didn't like it, but I absolutely adore this now. And this is Money Go Round, and this serves better as a 12-inch because basically all this does is take a 12-inch, cut it in half, put the first half on side 1 and the second half on side 2. But this is a real good funk number, and it really does grow on you. So Money Go Round is my number 7. Number 6 is another one I didn't quite like at the time, but I love it now, and that is Wanted. And I think this is from around the time of the Cost of Living sessions, maybe slightly after. This is far better than anything off Cost of Living. It's a great little single, but it didn't do too well. They weren't getting the top 10s anymore, and this is such a sing-along song. Really good. I think it's one of Weller's finest from the mid-80s. So that's Wanted at number 6. Number 5, and their single from 84, and this is Shout to the Top. Brilliant song, love it. I think this came out around the same time as David Bowie's Tonight LP, if I remember, or around the same time as Adam Ant's Apollo 9, because I think I bought them around the same time. It's a great number, and I know he's played this live as a solo performer. This was put on, I believe, the US version of Our Favourite Shop, or maybe it was just the CD version, I'm not sure, but it's a great upbeat number, Shout to the Top. It's a little bit repetitive, but it's a really good song. Number 4, and it's their debut, and it's Speak Like a Child, and I love this. I love the video. I love to see Tracy Young in the video. They're on the top of a double-decker bus singing along as the bus goes through here, there and everywhere. It's a great song, and it was good because he didn't, although it's a good soul number with horns, he didn't stray too far away from the jam. And so the fans, I think, were happy enough with this, and it took it into the top 5. I think it got to number 4. Number 3, highly political song again, but you know, you can't help singing it, and that's Walls Come Tumbling Down from Our Favourite Shop. Great number, absolutely fantastic song. It's uplifting. It's a political message again though, but yeah, love it. Walls Come Tumbling Down. Number 2 is probably, I think, maybe their biggest hit in America, and this is My Ever Changing Moods. This is the single version. The LP version was a piano led, slowed down. It doesn't work quite as well. This is great. The 12-inch is an extended version, which is even better. But yeah, I love this. I love the horns in it. I love the in the middle of the song there's a horn break, and it works so well. Terrible video though. I think they're travelling around on bicycles, but it's a brilliant song. And my favourite Style Council song, and this was possibly going to be the last Jam single, and as I said before in a different video, I'm glad it wasn't, because this version is excellent. This is A Solid Bond in Your Heart, and this is like Northern Soul again. It's got a great video where Paul and Mick are dressed as mods, and they go to this reunion hall and nobody turns up, and oh, it's a fantastic song, really good, uplifting. It's got a great little B-side on the back of it. It just came to pieces in my hands. Wonderful. And yeah, as I say, number 1 Style Council single, and it was their 4th. They had 4 singles in 1983. They were all great, although I didn't like Money Go Round at the time, but this is excellent. Okay, so that's my ranking of the Style Council singles. As I say, a very political band, but some really good uplifting tunes and some pretty dodgy stuff as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. Okay, now thanks. Bye bye.